everyone. Good morning. So what we're going to do, we're going to get started, and then we're going to ask that, so all of the elected officials on this side of the table, yep. And then the family, I asked the family stay here at the podium, along with the executive director. We're going to get started. We're going to have the executive director introduce everyone. We ask that you, if you have questions, you hold them to the end. They're more than welcome to answer everything. So we're going to get started now. I just want to thank you all. Executive Director, Bosley family.
Okay, my name is Stephanie Wienerman, StephanieWiedeman. I am the interim executive director for the Dalton Park District. We're here to speak on behalf of what took place over the weekend with the Village of Dalton. I have the residents here that were renting our facility from us when the park was taken over by the village and the police department. This is the Bosley family. I have some of the village trustees behind me, the board of the commissioners here at the Park District, some residents from the Village of Dalton here, and we're all here to stand together to make sure that, you know, the community is treated fairly and that residents are given what they deserve. So at this time, I'm going to let the Bosley family speak, and I'll go over here. You guys go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Darren, D-A-R-I-N, last name Bosley, B-O-S-L-E-Y.
I'm Rosalind, R-O-Z-A-L-Y-N, B-O-S-L-E-Y's last name.
So August 12th, we were expecting to have a car show at Needles Park from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We arrived about 8:15 and noticed that there were boulders put up where the entrance was. Got in touch with the Park District to try to figure out what was going on. And Tiffany basically shut the park down because she wanted us to have our event where her event was going to be taking place at that same day on Greenwood and Sibley. The Park District did try to help us out from about 9 o'clock till like 1 o'clock. That's when Lacey told us it wasn't going to happen, the boulders weren't going to be moved, and there was nothing that we can do or the Park District could do. Even though we had our permit and had our insurance for the location, the mayor was saying that we needed a special event permit, which the trustees told us there was no such thing for Dalton. We ended up moving the location though to Calumet Beach in Chicago, which it was still a nice day and a nice event. But we did lose funds that day because we had people coming from out of town and out of state. Once they kind of figured out it was like a no-go at that location, they didn't know where it was going to be. People kind of backed out and continued on with their day. So, yeah, we definitely lost. We lost probably a nice amount of money that day. Can't give an exact number, but we definitely lost a nice amount of money that day. Oh, Mr. John. Oh, come on. Stay here.
My name is Cleo Jones, C-L-E-O, Jones, J-O-N-E-S. I am the Dalton Park District Board of Commissioners President. I was very heartbroken when I arrived at the park, actually Friday, and saw the boulders. But then I was really heartbroken when I arrived to the park that Saturday morning and saw that there was boulders and more restrictions for residents entering into their own park. Not only that, policemen lying across the line of the Park District, preventing residents from entering into the park, as well as patrons who participate in this car show. I was very heartbroken when one of the patrons participating in the Bosley show, driven from Atlanta to get here as a vendor, and was told that she could not enter into the park. So that was very heartbreaking to understand. The Village of Dalton in no way, no sound have anything to do with the Dalton Park District. We are our own board. We have our own board of commissioners. We have 5 commissioners. We have 2 of the commissioners here today, Commissioner Wells. We have Commissioner Rochelle, Rochelle here as well. So the fact of the matter is the village does not have any governing over the Dalton Park District. The Dalton Park District Police was stating that they had an ordinance in place prohibiting us to have this event. That ordinance is no such thing. I talked with the village clerk, and the village clerk said she had not heard of any ordinance. We've been having this event with the Bosleys for over 7 years. 7 years. 7 years, no incidents encountered. So we want to know what is the problem right now, other than the mayor was having an event down the street from where we was having an event from. And we wanted to know, why did this happen? That's why we brought everybody here together today, because this cannot happen ever again. Ever again. We are the Dalton Park District. We are our own governing body. We have nothing to do with the village of Dalton when it comes to putting on programs and allowing patrons to rent the park. This matter is under litigation. I cannot speak no further about that. And from there, we're going to continue moving everything forward. But we want to send a strong message to the village of Dalton that they do not have any governing over the Dalton Park District.
And we also have the Village of Dalton trustees here in unity to support the Bosley family. If I can get the three of you to come up, President Jones.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Trustee Jason House, JASONHOUSE. Here from the Village of Dalton, and we want to just again apologize to the Bosley family for these type of intimidation tactics to try to force somebody to join the mayor's event have to stop. These intimidation tactics continue. The village currently has 2 lawsuits, and I'm hearing more to come related to business licenses being withheld as well, to intimidate people into campaign contributions. That litigation is ongoing. So we are asking that these intimidation tactics stop. We are asking for any investigations. We do call to the state's attorney, the Attorney General's office, to investigate the things that are going on. And this specific matter, we again apologize to the Bosley family for the money they've lost, the time they've put in, and those individuals that were coming in.
Good morning. I am Brittany Norwood, BRITTNEY, NORWOOD, and I'm also a trustee within the Village of Dalton, and I'm fully in support. I'm standing with the Bosley family. Again, we apologize, and moving forward, we hope that we could prevent these instances from happening. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Trustee Tammy Brown, TAMMIE. BROWN, as in the color brown. I too apologize to the Bosleys for what has actually taken place. Hopefully today with this conference that something can truly be done here in the Village of Dalton. It is very saddening that these things continue to happen. No one has come here to investigate. Hopefully this will open some doors to the investigation here. We, the residents of Dalton, we are suffering with a mayor who has used these tactics not only on residents, but on the trustees as well. It is board meetings that we are not allowed to say anything, put anything on the agenda. So we too are being strong-armed, and we are the elected official. So something needs to be done. Hopefully, after this conference today, some people will stand up, take a stance for us here for the residents of Dalton, and something has to be done. Thank you so much for coming out today.
And before we give the floor to the commission.
Good morning. I'm former trustee Valerie Stubbs, VALERIA Stubbs, STUBBS. And as I look around the room, I am grateful that everybody came out to support the Park District, the Bosley family. And I was also looking to see Trustee Andrew Holmes, Trustee Stanley Brown. I would have hoped that they would have came and supported the Park District, because they know that there is no such thing as an ordinance that governs the Park District. This is a separate entity, and I apologize to you guys too that this have happen to you. And again, I'm reaching out to Trustee Andrew Holmes and Trustee Stanley Brown because they are elected officials also. And I ask everybody to come to Thornton Township Board meeting tonight because to my understanding, she's trying to replace the assessor and put somebody in her seat, and that is unheard of. And what is going on now, somebody have to come to our aid because the village of Dalton is suffering. We've been fighting this woman ever since she came into office. Thank you.
So now we ask the two commissioners, Commissioner Wells and Commissioner Rochelle, to step forward, and the Dalton trustees can step forward.
Good morning. I am Sandra Wells, Sandra Wells. I am a 2-year commissioner to the Park District and a 24-year resident. And in all of my years, I've never seen anything like this. When I ran to be a public servant. And what we've witnessed is far from that. These tactics of intimidation is short of insanity to me. We stand 10 toes down with the Bosleys. We're here to represent the community, not our own selfishness. So for the Bosleys, the apologies will continue to flow. We do really apologize for that. We didn't expect it to happen. We did everything that we knew how to do to get those boulders removed. Every turn we made, we were told that's not our jurisdiction. You have to call this person. Nobody came to the aid, but we're here in support of you guys.
Good morning. My name is Commissioner Rochelle, Kylerochelle. I have also been a commissioner for the last 2 years. I recognize that this event has been going on 5 years before me, 2 years with me. Being a part of this event the last 2 years has been great. They never had a problem. Me and Mr. Bosley started growing a connection ourselves and more of a friendship. The event never has had a problem. I ran to give back to the community, to give back to the youth, because I am the youth. I am part of the youth. So I wanted somebody of our age to be able to sit at the table and listen and have a comment and to be able to voice their opinion when other people are talking about the parks that younger people tend to go to more than others. So with this event being canceled, it's like it kind of took away from me because I like to give back to the community. I like to see the community coming out to the events. I like to see the community at the parks even when I just drive past, and to see that the police had them on hold and to see that the police had the park just shut down and even residents couldn't get in Friday the day before or Sunday the day after and Saturday the day of is mind-boggling to me, and I really don't have the right words to say how I feel. It is a shame that this took place and how it went down. I am sorry to the Bosley family, and in a million years I could never see that happening and just an event being shut down so soon with no legal reason. I would just like to extend my apologies again to the Bosley family, and I'm sorry, and I hope you guys can continue to move forward with us, and thank you to the trustees for being here as well, and uniting and showing support with the Bosley family along with the Board of Commissioners, and thank you.
And one thing I want to do before I see Vice President came in, I want to have Thornton Township assessor. We have the actual Thornton Township assessor here in support of the Bosley family as well.
Thank you. My name is Cassandra Elston, Cassandra, Elston, Elston. I am the assessor for Thornton Township, served in that capacity since about 2012. I am sorry to the Bosley family for what you're going through. You've gone through the proper procedures to hold this event, which I've attended from time to time, which is a wonderful event, family-oriented, and it's a great event. I am here in support of them, support of the businesses who are not allowed to open because of some liquor or license issues. Thornton Township, the various towns within Thornton need to have businesses for revenue to help the single-family taxpayers to eat up some of that tax burden. Again, I'm sorry what you're going through. I'm also going through that at the township. Been informed there's possibility of me being fired from an elected position tonight. I don't know, but we'll see tonight. But I'm just here to show support to you and also to you and the residents of Thornton and Dalton. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that concludes our speakers, and we'll ask the media. If you have any questions at this time, feel free to ask.
Mr. Jones, you mentioned about litigation, and why can't you talk more about that?
Well, right now our attorneys is in that matter is in our attorneys' hands, and we do not want to say anything further about that matter because the litigation points to what's going to happen in court. So I do not want to put anything out there, and anything may be false to it, but we want to be directly to the point of what's happening. So our attorney recommended that we do not go further into discussion of what's going to be filed in the court.
So nothing at this point has been filed, is what you're saying?
It should be filed this morning sometime, this afternoon sometime.
In what court?
It looks like it's going to be in the Markham Courthouse. So our attorney is gathering the information as we speak, compiling the information and compiling all the relevant things that occur piece by piece to put that together so it can be filed appropriately.
Once it is filed, I mean, can we find out like what you're alleging? Is it against the village? Is it against the mayor individually?
Well, it's going to be a collaboration between both. I can tell you that much. It's going to be against both the mayor and the village as well. You know, because the fact of the matter is that they put out something that was an ordinance in place stating that prohibits the Bosley for having the event. So we want to ensure that we have all the proper documentation in place before we start collaborating on anything.
Any question?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to include the police department in the lawsuit? Because they should know better.
Well,
They're supposed to follow the law, not help the mayor break the law. So my question is, are you going to include them as defendants in the lawsuit?
I don't want, without going further into the what the lawsuit is they will be included in the lawsuit as well. So to tell you what the lawsuit is going to be about, the matters of the lawsuit is going to be about, I cannot go further into what the litigation is going to be about, but they will maybe be included in it as well because absolutely right, they did state something that was unlawful. They did prohibit the park district. They did pretty much do a takeover, an unlawful takeover of a park district. And we are our own separate entity, which I said that we have 5 governing members who are elected to govern the parks of Dalton, the village of Dalton. So we run and operate. We are the fiduciary keeper of the park districts. So the fact of the matter is for the village to come over to overtake an event that's been happening here for over 7 years, and I've been a commissioner on the board for 14 years. And we had never reached out to the village of Dalton other than reach to the police department and say that we're having an event, and the fact of the matter is going to be an overflow of crowd that pretty much have a police car come in and do a little bit of surveillance, other than because we provide our own security here at the park district, and as well as the Bosleys had their own security as well. So it was double security at this event, so it can make it uneventful that anything happens. Yes, sir.
Have you thought of establishing a park district police department? Park districts are authorized to have their own. I'm just asking if you thought of doing that, because if you do that, then you can police your own areas, and then your police department can call tow trucks to remove the stinking barricades.
So, I mean, when I arrived, my wife and I first moved here in Dalton back in the early 90s, there was the Dalton Police Department. And that the police department got disbanded because of the financial reasons. And the fact of the matter, if we could afford to re-engage the police department right here in Dalton, in our Dalton Park District, we will. But the fact of the matter is right now we cannot afford to engage the Dalton Police Department, so we reached out to security. The security does not carry the power of the police does, but the fact of the matter is that we have rules and regulations that are governing by the state of Illinois that the village of Dalton must respect.
Correct.
Next question.
Yes, sir.
Kirk Allen, Acre County Watchdog. When you file this case, can you guys put this up online on your website for everybody to read?
Yeah, once the case is filed, we reach out to the attorneys and find out if she will actually have it on display or not. Yes.
And we will post it.
Yes.
Next question. question?
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when hearing about this, the word tyranny comes to mind. Is that what's occurring in Dalton?
Well, when you say tyranny, it was a breach. It was a breach of Dalton Park District rules and regulations. You know, we was pretty much overtaken, and you pretty much took over a park. You know, it pretty much reminds you of the January 6th event that happened in Washington, D.C., that you had the police pretty much telling the sworn elected officials what they can do on their own land. Imagine this. You're having a party at your own residence, and the police car comes up there and block your driveway and say, you can't come in this driveway, you can't come in this driveway, and you are a tax-paying citizen of this town here. So imagine that they're blocking your driveway, not allowing you entrance and prohibiting you entrance in your own house. So that's how we felt, that put barricades, boulders, about almost 5 feet high in the middle of the entranceway. Then they came back and said, well, this easement does not belong to you. But guess what? We cut the grass over there. We do not consider this easement versus that easement. We cut the grass and ensure that the beautification of our community. You know, and the bottom line is that it's a public park. You should not prohibit people from entering to a public park. Friday, when I arrived there, so the mother was trying to pull into the park, and she saw the barriers there, and she went across the street to park. She had her daughter by the hand. Our car zoomed by and almost hit them too. And the person in the vehicle yelled out some expletives, and pretty much the lady stormed back and said, what is going on here? Why can't I get in my park? I said, you need to make a call to the mayor of Dalton and ask her, why did she block off a public park, you know, prohibiting you from going into your park that you pay taxes for, and a playground there is to use as well.
Next question?
It was mentioned contacting the state's attorney's office. Has the park board done that in any official capacity?
The park board is in the reaching out to the state board and the state's attorney as well to find out what they can do about this matter. So ensuring that this matter does not happen ever again. You know, because once again, it happened to the Bosleys, who said the next time they won't show up again and put boulders across the main park. You know, so we have to send a strong message to the village of Dalton that they just cannot show up here to try to overtake someone's event that was planned almost a year in advance. The Bosley came into this very boardroom you're sitting in and planned their event with the Board of Commissioners. And they gave us all the appropriate documents to get their event on. So the fact of the matter is that you cannot prohibit someone. We don't do pop-up events here in this park district. We plan every event that you see that happens here.
We have time for one more question. We want to be considerate of everyone's time. One more question.
So before you go there, on behalf of the Dalton Park District, we want to thank everyone for coming out. We want to reach out and sincerely thank the Bosleys, and we appreciate the Bosleys for standing strong with us. And we are going to fix this matter for the Bosleys, and we send a hard, strong thank you to them for not turning away from the Dalton Park District. And we want to send a residence that you could come here and have your events here as well, and that we're going to assure you that this won't happen again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. At this time, this concludes the press release. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out. You do have my email address, my phone number, and I know I've stalked most of you. So